Good morning. Today is Wednesday, April 22nd, 2020, and today is Earth Day. Earth Day is a day where we try to think about how we can be a little kinder to our planet. So after you watch this, you may go watch a video that I have sent all about Earth Day and with an activity for composting. So after this, you can watch that. Let's see. Also, our letter this week is J. Let's see. So Earth Day. Also, we have our live Zoom meetings today. So your parents know what time to log in for our Zoom meeting, and we will be working on our pre-phonics. And for your journal today, I thought it might be fun, because we're doing tally marks this week. For your journal entry, I was thinking what you could do, you be creative, you do whatever you want. Say, I'm going to come up with, you can draw, let's do balloons. All right, so I'm going to do tally marks for each balloon so I can count how many there are. I'm going to say, okay, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. All right, so you can do any amount. You can do it all, as many as you want. Let's see, baseballs. One, two, three. All right, so practice your tallying. You be creative. You draw whatever you want to draw, and then you can practice your tally marks on top of that. All right, in honor of Earth Day, I am going to read to you one of my favorite books, The Lorax by Dr. Seuss. Let's see. All right, here we go. And deep in the grickle grass, some people say, if you look deep enough, you can still see today where the Lorax once stood, just as long as it could before somebody lifted the Lorax away. What was the Lorax? And why was he there? And why was it lifted and taken somewhere? From the far end of town where the grickle grass grows. The old Onceler still lives there. Ask him, he knows. You won't see the Onceler. Don't knock at his door. He stays in his lurkin' on top of his store. He lurks in his lurkum, cold under the roof, where he makes his own clothes out of miff-muff boof. And on a special dank midnight in August, he peeks out of the shutters. And sometimes he speaks and tells how the Lorax was lifted away. He'll tell you, perhaps, if you're willing to pay. On the end of a rope, he lets down a tin pail, and you have to toss in 15 cents and a nail in the shell of a great-great-great-grandfather snail. Then he pulls up the pail, makes a most careful count to see if you've paid him the proper amount. Then he hides what you've paid him away in his snuff, his secret strange hole in his grooveless glove. Then he grunts, I'll call you by my whisper-my-phone, for the secrets I tell you are for your ears alone. Swoop! Down slopes the whisper-my-phone to your ear, and the old Onceler's whispers are not very clear, since they have to come down through a snurdly hose, and he sounds as if he has smallish bees up his nose. Now I'll tell you, he says, with his teeth sounding gray, how the Lorax got lifted and taken away. It all started way back, such a long, long time back. Way back in the days when the grass was still green, and the pond was still wet, and the clouds were still clean. And the song of the Swami Swans rang out in space. One morning, I came to this glorious place, and I first saw the trees, oh, the truffula trees, the bright colored tufts of the truffula trees, mile after mile in this fresh morning breeze. and under the trees I saw brown Barbaloots frisking about in their Barbaloot suits as they played in the shade and ate truffle fruits. From the rivulet's pond came the comfortable sound of the humming fish humming while splashing around. But those trees, those truffle trees! All my life I'd been searching for trees such as these. The touch of their tufts was much softer than silk, and they had the sweet smell of fresh butterfly milk. I felt a great leaping of joy in my heart. I knew just what I'd do. I unloaded my cart. In no time at all, I had built a small shop. Then I chopped down a truffle tree with one chop. And with great skillful skill and with great speedy speed, I took the soft tuft and I kneaded a thneed. The instant I'd finished, I heard a gazoom. I looked. I saw something pop out of the stump of the tree I chopped down. It was sort of a man. Describe him? That's hard. I don't know if I can. He was shortish and oldish and brownish and mossy, and he spoke with a voice that was sharpish and bossy. Mister, he said with a sawdusty sneeze, I am the Lorax, and I speak for the trees. I speak for the trees have no tongues, and I'm asking you, sir, at the top of my lungs. He was very upset as he shouted and puffed. What's that thing you've made out of my tuffle tuft? Look, Lorax, I said, there's no cause for alarm. I chopped just one tree. I'm doing no harm. I'm being quite useful. This thing is a thneed. A thneed's a fine something that all people need. It's a shirt, it's a sock, it's a glove, it's a hat. But it has other uses. Yes, far beyond that. You can use it for carpets, for pillows, for sheets or curtains, or covers for bicycle seats. The Lorax said, Sir, you are crazy with greed. There is no one on the earth who would buy that full thneed. But the very next minute, I proved he was wrong. For just at that minute, a chap came along, and he thought about the thneed I had knitted was great. He happily bought it for $3.98. I laughed at the Lorax. You poor stupid guy. You never can tell what some people will buy. I repeat, cried the Lorax, I speak for the trees. I'm busy, I told him. Shut up, if you please. I rushed across the room and in no time at all built a radio phone. I put in a quick call. I called all my brothers and uncles and aunts, and I said, listen here, here's a wonderful chance for the whole Onceler family to get mighty rich. Get over here fast. Take the road to North Nitch. Turn left at Weehawken, sharp right at South Stitch. And in no time at all, in the factory I built, the whole Onceler family was working full tilt. We were all knitting thneeds just as busy as bees, to the sound of the chopping of truffle trees. Then, oh baby oh, how my business did grow. Now chopping one tree at a time was too slow. So I quickly invented my super axe hacker, which whacked all 4 truffle trees at one smacker. We were watching thneeds 4 times as fast as before, and that Lorax, he didn't show up anymore. But the next week, he knocked on my office door. He snapped, I'm the Lorax who speaks for the trees. Would you seem to be chopping as fast as you please? But I'm also in charge of the brown Barbaloots, who played in the shade in their Barbaloot suits, and happily lived eating truffle fruits. Now, thanks to your hacking my trees to the ground, there's not enough truffle fruit to go around. And my poor Barbaloots are all getting the crummies because they have gas and no food in their tummies. They loved living here, but I can't let them stay. They'll have to find food, and I hope that they may. Good luck, boys, he cried, and he sent them away. I, the Onceler, felt sad as I watched them all go. But business is business, and business must grow, regardless of crummies in tummies, you know. I meant no harm, I most truly did not, but I had to grow bigger, so bigger I got. I biggered my factory, I biggered my roads. I biggered my wagons, I biggered the loads. Of the needs I shipped out, I was shipping them forth to the south, to the east, to the west, to the north. I went right on biggering, selling more needs, and I biggered my money, which everyone needs. Then again, he came back. I was fixing some pipes when the old nuisance Lorax came back with more gripes. I am the Lorax, he coughed and whiffed. He sneezed and he snuffled, he snarled, he sniffed. Onceler, he cried with a cruffless croak. Onceler, you're making much smugulous smoke. My poor swami swans, why they can't sing a note. No one can sing who has smog in their throat. And so, said the Lorax, please pardon my cough. They cannot live here, so I'm sending them off. Where will they go? I don't hopefully know. They may have to fly for a month or a year to escape from the smog you've smogged up around here. What's more, snapped the Lorax, his dander was up. Let me say a few words about Gluppity Glup. Your machinery chugs on day and night without stop, making Gluppity Glup, so schluppity schlup. And what do you do with this leftover goo? I'll show you, you dirty old Onceler man, you. You're glumping the pond where the humming fish hummed. No more can they hum, for their gills are all gummed. So I'm sending them off. Oh, their future is dreary. They'll walk on their fins and get woefully weary, in search of some water that isn't so smeary. And then I got mad. I got terribly mad. I yelled at the Lorax, now listen here, Dad. All you do is yap yap and say bad, 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 bad. Well, I have my rights, sir, and I'm telling you, I intend to go on doing just what I do. And for your information, you Lorax, I'm fingering on biggering and biggering and biggering and biggering, turning more truffle trees into needs, which everyone needs. And at that very moment, we heard a loud whack. From outside in the fields came a sickening smack of an axe on a tree. Then we heard the tree fall, the very last truffle tree of them all. No more trees, no more needs, no more work to be done. So in no time, my uncles and aunts, everyone, all waved me goodbye. They jumped into my cars and drove away under the smoke, smuggled stars. Now, all that was left neath the bad-smelling sky was my big, empty factory, the Lorax and I. The Lorax said nothing, just gave me a glance, just gave me a very sad, backward glance, as he lifted himself by the seat of his pants, and I'll never forget the grim look on his face when he hoisted himself and took leave of this place, through a hole in the smog without leaving a trace. And all that the Lorax left here in this mess was a small pile of rocks with the word, unless. Whatever that meant, well, I just couldn't guess. That was long, long ago, but each day since that day, I've sat here and worried away. Through the years, while my buildings have fallen apart, I worried about it with all of my heart. But now, says the Onceler, now that you're here, the word of the Lorax seems perfectly clear. And unless someone like you who cares a whole awful lot, nothing is going to get better. It's not. So, catch, calls the Onceler, and he lets something fall. It's a truffle seed. It's the last one of all. You're in charge of the last of the truffle seeds, and truffle trees are what everyone needs. Plant a new seed, a new truffula, treat it with care, give it clean water, and feed it fresh air. Grow a forest, protect it from axes that hack. Then the Lorax and all of his friends may come back. The end. All right, guys, on that note, I wish you well. I wish you well all through the day today. I wish you well. Bye, guys.